down in the den, so go tell a friend. The best podcast on earth is about to begin. We got jokes and news and movie reviews. After Dark NC-17 with the crew. Interviews with the best artists around. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Welcome to Down in the Den. It's your boy, Marz, and I hope everyone is living, loving, and leaving all that stress behind. Thank you all so much for tuning in, man. I love you guys, man. I really do. But I hope you guys are digging our new theme music. I had to dust off the mic and drop a few bars. I literally haven't rapped since I was probably 21 years old, but the old theme music was getting a little dated to say. So I dropped a few bars, and I hope you guys are really enjoying the new theme music. I had a lot of feedback. Who knows? Maybe an album is coming out. We've interviewed a lot of great musicians. So maybe, hey, man, get your boy on the track. Get your boy on the track. I still got it. But today we're going to be talking about some awesome reviews of the Loki series that is on Disney Plus, and I have a great interview for you with film director Abdul El-Amin to talk about his new movie Tunnel Vision that's available on YouTube. So let's get into it. So first of all, guys, let me tell you, we all know I am a diehard Marvel fan, and after over a year with no Marvel content, I am so happy with the influx of awesome Marvel content that we have received thus far, courtesy of the good folks over at Disney Plus. I really love WandaVision. If you guys have been listening to the audio podcast of Down in the Den, you guys know that I reviewed every single episode of that show. I also reviewed every single episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Both were dope. There were some moments of disappointment, but I kind of just credited that to the pandemic, really having Marvel be able to not be able to get all the things they wanted accomplished. But overall, mission was accomplished. We had two solid entries into Phase 4. But to be completely honest, the one that I've been most excited for was Loki. And the first episode debuted last Wednesday. Sorry, guys, for the delay. I've just had so many things going on. And I promise moving forward that we'll get those Loki reviews every single Wednesday. I will stay up to 3 a.m. Eastern time to make sure we get those out to you quick and on time. But the first episode, it did not disappoint. It set up a lot for those who, unlike myself, have seen every Marvel movie in the MCU. Now, while the first episode did have a lot of exposition, that makes sense because they have to catch those up. And while everything is related, everything is connected, it has to stand alone and on its own to be a quality show. And it did that. The first episode, as I mentioned, did not disappoint. And it really started with a recap of the Infinity Saga, at least Loki's part of the Infinity Saga. And it was awesome. Once again, no complaints. We started off with a cut to the time heist from Avengers Endgame when Loki vanished with the Tesseract. And then it begins with him arriving in the Moby Desert, where he's quickly apprehended by the TVA. He's brought into custody, and I just have to say, Tom Hiddleston, he is masterful. When I say someone was built for their role, he is masterful, and that's one of the reasons he has been a constant in the MCU for the last decade. And I really love the chemistry between him and Owen Wilson's character, Mobius M. Mobius. I rarely see Owen Wilson playing the straight man, but he really did a fantastic job subverting the expectations and playing a more straight-laced role. In my head, when they mentioned that he would be cast in this role, Mobius M. Mobius, who aren't familiar with the character, he's kind of like a middle management, and the TVA, which is this huge place within time that really is in charge of keeping the timeline, the sacred timeline, together. So in my head, I'm thinking Jason Bateman. Who plays a better straight man than Jason Bateman? But Kevin Feige, I apologize. I apologize. Whoever you guys have in casting, you guys are continuing to bat 1,000 with the casting, and he did a fantastic job. I have to say that after going through a hilarious processing sequence where we saw Miss Minutes' character, who's voiced by Tara Strong, who's hilarious, as well as some other interesting aspects, it just really showed how powerful the TVA is. And during a breakout attempt by Loki, we discovered that Casey, who is a processor, literally had a desk full of Infinity Stones and explained that some of his coworkers used them as paperweights. The gravity on Loki's face, Tom Hiddleston played masterfully when he realized what he thought was the most powerful items in the universe are nothing but baubles to the TVA. And I think that alone really let it sink in the gravity of his situation. You also have to remember that this Loki has not gone through the development of Loki Prime. That's what we're going to call the Loki from the previous timeline. Uh, but seeing how his life was supposed to go, we were able to get this Loki very close to the Loki of Endgame fairly quickly, and I'm here for it. The Loki show will be every Wednesday on Disney Plus, and I'm stoked to see what is in store for this series. We already know that it's going to be the most important Disney Plus show thus far in development for the future of the MCU. If you paid attention, there were a ton of Easter eggs, not only for the multiverse of madness, Doctor Strange 2, but potentially for Secret War, which I am hoping and praying to the comic book nerds above that we get a Secret War movie in the next couple of years. I know Marvel is going to likely move forward, and that'll probably be the next big Avengers movie in the next 3 or 4 years. But overall, the episode was awesome. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars, a great rating, and I really cannot wait to see what else is in store for us. But we're going to go take a quick break, and when we'll be back, we'll be there with our interview of Abdul El-Amin, director and founder of June Vision on YouTube, who just released his new movie, Tunnel Vision. And I hope you guys enjoy the interview. But until later, I'll see you guys and enjoy this interview. Welcome to Down in the Den. It's your boy Marz, formerly known as Marlon Beardo, currently going by Bro Rogan. And today is no different from any other day. We have the most illustrious guests as always. And today I have a very special guest. I checked out his film on YouTube the other day. I dug it and I said, hey man, I got to have this guy on the show. And he was so nice to bless us with his presence. Ladies and gentlemen, my man Abdul, how you doing today, brother?
How you doing, bro? I like how you introduce yourself, man, with that Rogan part.
Yeah, man. Well, if you've seen in the previous, I was a big bearded dude. I used to go by Marlon Beardo, and I had a barbershop incident where the barbershop said, brother, your hair is not growing back like it used to. So buzz everything off. So I said, I need a new alias since I've been going with Marlon Beardo for the last 7 years. But man, thank you so much for joining us on Den.
No problem, bro. Appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So man, let's just get right into it. But before we start talking about the movie, how's this pandemic been treating you, man?
It's been cool. I mean, I be standing myself too, pretty much anyway, so it ain't really. I just move the same way.
Absolutely.
My little moves and then sit still.
Absolutely, man. Consistency is the way, man. Definitely. Mm-hmm. I feel you. I've been blessed. So King, man, let's first just go ahead and talk about the movie. The movie is called Tunnel Vision. It's available for free on YouTube. It's a very interesting story. It's not your typical West Coast hood movie. It's a bit of a love story. It's a bit of a almost like a business plan, how to. What inspired the film?
Going through certain things in life, you know, and seeing certain things, I just put it all together, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It makes perfect sense. And one thing that caught my eye, you know, as a cisgender male, is some very beautiful women featured in the film, man. Of course, you also starred in the film. You directed, I assume, wrote, produced everything, man. So, you know, how was it working with so much beautiful eye candy?
Oh man, it was like, to me, just working with new people was always fun to me because you learn different things, you bounce ideas off each other. So So that was hella fun. But then, like you said, the girls was beautiful, and it was in different states, so it was different. Like on the West Coast, they might see things different. On the East, they see things different. So it was good to, learn things like that, working with them.
Definitely. Now, beyond the beautiful women, you had some really awesome music. Now, I'm a hip hop. I'm an '80s baby, so I'm hip hop to the core. And because my brother was 10 years older than me, I mean, I am hip hop. I was listening to like Too Short when I was 5, when everybody else was listening to Wheels on the Bus. I was listening to, Life is Too Short. So I love the music. Tell us about some of the artists that you work with on the score of this film.
Damn, see, they're gonna cuss me out because I can't remember all their names. But what I can do is I'll send you all the Instagram and stuff so you can check them out. So you can, at least tag them in the bio. But what I wanted to do was, because I've been traveling for since like 2005. Been on the road doing different things. So like, for example, I go to Memphis and I go to the club and I hear a song playing in Memphis that I wouldn't hear when I came back home.
Right.
So I knew when I told this story that if I was going to shoot the scene in Memphis, I had to go get an artist from Memphis and not an artist from California. That makes sense. And the same thing with Seattle. Like the brother in Seattle, he got murdered before he got a chance to see the song in the movie. He got killed around my birthday. So, but he always lived through the movie. But his name was Dolce Draco from Seattle. But so that's basically that was my idea. Any place that Arizona, wherever I went, I would try to get an artist from that place and play their music. That's pretty much how I did it.
Well, it definitely worked, man. It definitely worked. It gave an authentic vibe, because you're absolutely right. Sometimes people think of what they listen to instead of adapting to the situation. And so I thought that was genius, because each scene, depending on each state, it made perfect sense. Now,
like you here, right?
Right. Now, I mentioned I'm a hip hop head, and we've had a couple of hip hop artists on, a couple of different singers and different genres, but definitely a hip hop head. And the movie, to me, it reminded me of, I don't know if you've ever heard this because you're a little bit younger than me, but if you ever heard of the Biggie song 10 Crack Commandments?
Oh, but hold on. You said, how old is you?
I'm 40.
Okay, so you was born in
80.
What year?
1980.
So you're 3 years older than me.
Yeah, but that 3 years makes a difference,
No, you're right.
That 3 years makes a difference.
No, but see, I don't want to talk too much, but I was in the streets young. And like Drew and them will tell you, I was at 14 years old. I was out there with guys your age and older. So I understand.
Yeah, same with Drew. And this is, if you guys don't know, we're talking about our man, the Short Man, who's featured on our other show, Down in the Den After Dark, where we're more than just interviews with artists. We really crack the shit like a bunch of kids. And he put me on to my man Abdul here. He was like, yo, man, my man's an artist, man, and check it out. So I checked out the film, and I'm glad we were able to connect. Now, filmmaking right now, it seems you're in the place to do it. You're on the West Coast, but right now with the technology, everybody can really be their own studio and do the thing independent, which I love. We've had a ton of independent artists out there. What would you say to any young cat that's wanting to do it but scared because they may not live on the West Coast or they may not have access? What type of inspiration would you tell them?
That's a good question, bro. I would say that to create something that you believe in is gonna last forever, because even if nobody don't understand it, you was able to express yourself, and that's all we got at the end of the day, is expressing ourselves. So I would try to figure out the best way. Like, you see what I did? I did pretty much. I was the cameraman, the editor, the writer. I pretty much did everything by myself, bro. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's what you gotta do to make somebody want to come out and assist you on the next one, to help you or put your, So that's what I would tell them. Just go for what you know. Try your hardest to get the resources and figure it out.
And really, that's the best way to do it, because if you hear the story from every great director, from Steven Spielberg to Quentin Tarantino, they all started young, they started independent, they started, you'll see their first film and they filmed it on an 8mm camera with their friends in the neighborhood, and they grew and became who they are. Who's your favorite director? Who's like someone that you look to that you're like, yo, this is my guy, this is my icon?
I ain't gonna lie, bro, because I get inspiration from so many different people. It's a hard question to ask, but I could say, the Spike Lee's, John Singleton, the Marz Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino. There's a brother named Jamal Hill out of Philadelphia that I'm really inspired by. It's a bunch of them.
Absolutely. My two, of course, Spike is a god. John Singleton, rest in peace, King, is a god. Of course, I love Ryan Coogler, coming from your town. Ryan Coogler and Quentin Tarantino are probably my two. And I noticed a Tarantino vibe to your movie, because Tarantino does it where, he does the narration, he'll do the stops, he do I noticed that, and I was like, is this man from the school of Tarantino? Because I see it. I'm a film buff myself. Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you though, you were saying something about the 10 crack members. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted you to get your point across.
Yeah. So, I love the instruction in it. The 10 crack commandments, and my boy Drew, he always tells a story. He was in the streets at 14. I went the opposite route. I went to school. I'm a square as square can be. But let me tell you, when I'm in the car, I was thugging it. When I was listening to my music, I'm like, West Side, even though I'm from the East Coast, I was that. And so I loved how, you would break down each transaction, this code, this, it's like the wire, the 10 crack commandments. And I thought that was very authentic to the story. So I just wanted to give you props on that and see if you were inspired by the music in any way.
Where we come from, we was taught not to talk on the phone like that, not to even talk in public like that. You got to know what you know what I'm saying? Just get to the point. So That's what it was about. It's just, without talking too much, if they understand, only you need to understand what's going on. That's just basically what it was.
I love that. I love that. Now I always see that with rappers on like the DJ Vlad interviews, and they'll just give their whole enterprise away. And then the next thing you know, I'm like, is this dude a cop? Is this guy the FBI? Why are people just like telling their whole life? You're away from that. You're in the industry, talk entertainment. But it was definitely dope. I felt that to the core. Now, what other projects can we look forward from you? What are you working on now?
The next film I got is it's a love slap. I apologize. A romantic comedy. Okay. I don't want to get the ideas of this yet, but this gonna be dope too, bro. It's gonna be dope.
Absolutely, man. Hey, the rom-coms, if the ladies love it, the fellas got to take them to see it. So that's double the viewers, and the movie's doing numbers. At last count, I see it's got over 32,000 views, so it's doing numbers. It's by all means a success. And like I said, you did it on your own. So salute, King. You did it independently and you did it well, man. So before we go, I just wanted to let everybody know where they can find you. Once again, the movie is called Tunnel Vision. It's available free on YouTube. But give them your social media details and let everybody know where they can find you.
Okay, no problem. My Instagram is Cali Boy June. It's Cali Boy June 6 is CaliBoyJune6. And then you can check the movie out on YouTube. Type in June Vision, JUNEVISION, and the film is titled Tunnel Vision, TUNNELVISION.
Perfect. We'll put a link to it in the profile and put it under when we put this out so everybody can see it. Please support my man. The movie is romantic for the ladies. It's got some romance for the fellas. It's got beautiful eye candy. It's got music. It's got an intriguing story, and it's free. So, take the time out, check it out, support my man. He's doing it big. I thank you so much for joining us on the Den. I'm going to give you the final word if you want to go ahead and give a shout out to anybody or give that final word.
I just want to address this real quick, if I got a few seconds. Basically,
yeah, man.
When I talk to ladies, they think that the movie was made for men. So I explained to them it's actually the opposite. You know, I'm not degrading females. I'm just showing how beautiful they are in different spaces. You know, you got girls that do different kind of jobs, and that's really what it's about. So I you know, because right now it's 85% men and 15% women. So I would like to get that up, you know, the women audience, if possible. So ladies, if you hear me, please check it out. I promise you, I'm not degrading nobody. I'm just telling my story. Man.
And that's a fact. And you guys know I'm all for the women's support. So, you know, I can vouch. While they are beautiful and all women are, it is not degrading in any way. If anything, the guys look more of the jerks in this situation. So I can concur. I can co-sign that. I can put the D.E.N stamp on it 100%. That it's definitely made and designed for the ladies. You know, the fellas, we're gonna enjoy it too, but it's for you, queens. So please check out my man. Tunnel Vision is the flick. It's dope. It's available on YouTube. I want all the D.E.N mates to check it out. Tell them Marz sent you. And Abdul, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for coming out. And as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Deuces.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
No problem. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now.